States push back against Biden's vaccine mandate. Senator Warren wants Amazon to ban books with COVID misinformation. And what happened with the California recall election. That and more on this week's headlines. Welcome to America Uncovered. I'm Chris Chappell. America isn't the only country dealing with a labor shortage. A survey conducted in 43 countries has found that 69% of businesses worldwide are having a hard time hiring workers. Many experts believe this is related to the coronavirus pandemic, while I believe it's because jobs are lame. Who wants to work? Like me. I'm supposed to give in-depth analysis on the story, make a quippy joke, and then smoothly segue into the next topic, but who wants to work? 27 Republican governors and attorneys general are now saying they'll push back against President Biden's vaccine mandate for companies with over 100 workers. If you don't get the vaccine, you'll need to be tested weekly. Arizona became the first state to sue the Biden administration over it. I get it. Weekly testing can be time-consuming and expensive. I know. I test all America Uncovered employees each and every day. Not for COVID, but for whether or not their breath smells like blueberries. I don't know who, but one of them's been stealing my muffins. I'll catch you one of these days. Businesses that don't comply with President Biden's vaccine mandate will receive a fine. Meanwhile, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis said he would fine cities and counties that do mandate COVID vaccines for their employees. Governor DeSantis said if a government agency in the state of Florida forces a vaccine as a condition to employment, that violates Florida law, and you will face a $5,000 fine for every single violation. So if certain employees mandate a vaccine, they violate Florida law. But if they don't mandate a vaccine, they violate federal law. As contentious as Biden and DeSantis have been, it's nice to see them agree on one thing. Employers should have no freedom whatsoever and should be forced by the government to bow to whatever political ideology is forced on them. Did I say nice? I meant to say dystopian. If this keeps up, we're going to see an employer shortage. At least that'll solve the labor shortage since there won't be as many jobs. Politicians aren't the only ones in power responding to COVID vaccine mandates. A county sheriff in California said he won't enforce this vaccine mandate in his department. I'm not sure if he's refusing to do his job because he's opposed to the mandate or because, again, jobs are super lame. Even entertainers are weighing in on COVID vaccine mandates. Comedian Patton Oswalt canceled shows in Florida and Utah for not complying with COVID safety protocols. Comedian Jim Breuer said he'd cancel shows at venues that require proof of COVID vaccinations. And comedian Dane Cook canceled shows at all upcoming venues because it isn't 2003, so nobody wants to see Dane Cook anymore. And if you don't like all this talk about COVID controversies, you'll love this new idea from Senator Elizabeth Warren. She wants to stop people from learning about them in the first place. More after the break. Welcome back. There's a lot of misinformation about COVID out there. And I just want to say, YouTube, I only support the official narrative. Apparently, so does Elizabeth Warren. In a letter to Amazon this month, she demanded they stop peddling misinformation about COVID vaccines and treatments. Specifically, she wants Amazon to stop selling books that question the official COVID narrative, vaccines, or government COVID policies. And if you search Amazon for books using the keyword COVID, you'll find plenty of them. Not that you should. Anyway, you may be wondering, doesn't Senator Warren's call for banning books violate the First Amendment? Freedom of the press? The answer is no. See, it wouldn't be a law banning these books. It would just be a powerful senator using political leverage to pressure a private company to ban these books. Perfectly legal. It's like if someone showed a stranger on the street the craftsmanship of their switchblade. and then politely asked if they could borrow their wallet. See? Perfectly legal. And anyway, it's not like people can correctly judge for themselves what they should or shouldn't read. Like that time I accidentally read disturbingly erotic Harry Potter fan fiction, not realizing it wasn't the real thing. Well, I learned my lesson. I'm not going to do that again. Now I'm reading the real thing. Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Bone. Anyway, in Senator Warren's letter to Amazon, she justifies her call for Amazon to curb misinformation by saying other companies are already doing it, and that makes it okay. She wrote that Facebook has removed pages and adjusted its algorithms to remove misleading posts. And Twitter already prohibits users from sharing certain false or misleading information about COVID. Besides, as Warren points out, Amazon already does some censorship. In March 2019, Amazon removed books pushing pseudoscientific cures to autism. And in 2021, Amazon stopped selling books that frame LGBTQ+ identity as a mental illness. So her argument is, why not take it a step further and ban all books questioning the official COVID narrative? Some might say that sounds extreme. I say, that's not extreme enough. If those books are only banned on Amazon, then they still may exist in print somewhere. We should burn them instead. Book burning has always been a great idea, historically. Either way, I'm glad Elizabeth Warren is only trying to get rid of COVID misinformation books on Amazon, and not coming after totally harmless literature on Amazon, like Mein Kampf. More after the break. Welcome back. House Democrats proposed raising taxes on corporations and wealthy individuals to fund President Biden's $3.5 trillion spending plan. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez pushed this idea Monday night when she wore a dress that read, "Tax the Rich," at the Met Gala, one of the richest parties attended by some of the richest people on Earth, where tickets cost around $30,000 each. This is like wearing a meat is murder shirt while having a steak dinner with butchers inside a tauntaun. And I thought DC politics smelled bad on the outside. Some say AOC was making a powerful statement by wearing this dress, while others say she was being a hypocrite. And some have even said this dress is vaguely homophobic since it looks like a Chick-fil-A bag. Guess you can't wear this on Sundays. I don't know if I would say AOC is a hypocrite, though. I mean, when has she ever publicly decried something she personally benefited from? Oh, right, defunding the police and then hiring private security. Yeah, she might be a hypocrite. In that case, I think I'm going to make my own fashion statement by wearing a "stop virtue signaling while directly enjoying the fruits of the thing you're pretending to hate" dress. I think it'll be a hit at next year's Met Gala. Speaking of BS, scientists train cows to use a toilet, dubbed the Mooloo, in order to reduce greenhouse emissions. The study said the calves showed a level of performance comparable to that of children and superior to that of very young children. While many are excited at this news and its positive impact on the environment, I'm upset, because this is why we still don't have flying cars. Scientists have had decades to figure out the technology, but they're apparently too busy potty training Bessie. If we had flying cars that ran on trash, we wouldn't need Mooloos. Get your priorities straight, eggheads. Speaking of fenced-in creatures, a temporary fence was reinstalled around the Capitol. It's in response to a rally happening today in defense of those who protested on January 6th but didn't actually commit any crime. Chuck Schumer said, "I believe that law enforcement are well prepared, thorough, professional, and I think they are better prepared than people were before January 6th. Personally, I think they should build a permanent fence around the Capitol building to protect against the biggest threat to American democracy: lobbyists. They should place the Capitol building inside WWE's Hell in a Cell. This way, no lobbyists can get in, and politicians aren't let out until they do their jobs correctly." From one story about corrupt politicians to another, Russian President Vladimir Putin self-isolated after several members of his inner circle tested positive for COVID-19. According to Press Secretary Dmitry Peskov, Putin was tested and is absolutely healthy. Vladimir Putin is vaccinated with Russia's COVID vaccine, Sputnik V, which might not be very reassuring since the WHO has just suspended its approval due to manufacturing concerns. Peskov said he wasn't sure if these members of Putin's inner circle who tested positive were even vaccinated. But after exposing Putin to COVID, I'm sure they'll be given a large dose of Russia's usual vaccine. Take this stuff and there's a 100% guarantee you won't die from COVID. You know what else is bad for your health? Instagram. It's official. Facebook has concluded that Instagram is very harmful to young girls' mental health. Facebook spent at least 3 years studying the effects of Instagram on its younger users. It found that Instagram caused a teen mental health deep dive, and it makes body image issues worse for 1 in 3 teenage girls. This study is truly surprising, mainly that it took 3 years to find out what all of us figured out after 1 day. This is like a study that concludes bears are harmful to salmon, spaghetti sauce is harmful to white shirts, and shifty coworkers are harmful to innocent blueberry muffins. Instead of researching stuff we already know, Facebook, research how to finally make flying cars. Why is no one working on this? And after this final commercial break, fallout from the California gubernatorial recall election. Welcome back. California voters have spoken and Gavin Newsom will remain governor of the state. That's right, Newsom survived, unlike hundreds of small businesses under his COVID policies. Newsom won handily, with nearly 2/3 of California voters choosing no on the recall. There was definitely a party at the French Laundry restaurant this week. In response to this victory, Newsom said, "No is not the only thing that was expressed tonight. I want to focus on what we said yes to as a state. We said yes to science. We said yes to vaccines. We said yes to ending this pandemic. And yes to awkward press conferences with minions, trolls, and Optimus Prime. This picture is real, and he's somehow still in charge." Of the 46 candidates running to replace Newsom as governor, Larry Elder, a conservative radio host and known white supremacist, received the most votes. In response to his loss, Elder said, "Let's be gracious in defeat. We may have lost the battle, but we are going to win the war." Elder is likely referring to the fact that Newsom is up for re-elections in November of 2022. So unlike most races where you get a few years off from the madness, California gets to go through this all again next year. Yes! Can't wait to see even more articles calling this guy the blackface of white supremacy. So the California recall is officially over, but before I go, I'd like to take a moment to honor some of the 46 candidates we lost in this election. To all those who lost, take solace in the fact that if you won, you'd have to be the governor of California, which is a job. And jobs are lame. So what do you think about the stories we covered this week? Let us know in the comments below. And remember, America Uncovered is supported mainly by viewers. Be sure to visit patreon.com/America Uncovered. Contribute $1 or more per episode. We rely on your support to help us keep making great episodes. Once again, I'm Chris Chappell. Thanks for watching America Uncovered.